What if you had a foolproof method of knowing exactly how much money to take out of your retirement funds each month? Is there a magical formula that can provide you with enough money to live on while also ensuring that you never run out of money? The answer is yes, and that's what the 4% rule is all about. According to this concept, you can achieve the golden mean of retirement by withdrawing around 4% per year from your tax-deferred accounts. In actuality, the 4% rule can be rigid and may not be applicable to your specific scenario. But if you know how it operates, you'll have a head start on selecting a retirement drawdown plan that meets your needs. Moreover, this rule will ensure that you have sufficient funds throughout retirement. So, if you want to know exactly how you can use the 4% rule to achieve this, keep watching this video. Now, let's get started. What is a 4% rule in retirement? Bill Bengen, a former financial planner, developed the 4% rule after hearing the same concern from several clients. How do you securely use down your retirement assets without running out of money? As Bengen, a former aerospace engineer, was stumped by this question, he did the math himself. The shocking conclusion he reached from his study was published in the Journal of Financial Planning in 1994. For 90% likelihood that your retirement savings would last at least 30 years, Bengen recommends withdrawing no more than 4.2% of our portfolio in the first year of retirement and adjusting the amount each year after that for inflation. How the 4% rule works. The 4% rule is simple to follow. You can take out up to 4% of your portfolio's worth in your first year of retirement. Using the 4% rule, someone with $1 million in retirement savings can spend $40,000 in their first year of retirement. Your retirement income will need to be adjusted upwards to account for inflation beginning in year 2 of retirement. Withdrawing $40,800 from a $40,000 investment at 2% inflation, for instance, would be possible. If prices dropped by 2%, for example, your withdrawals would be $39,200 instead of $40,000. The third year's withdrawal limit is calculated by taking the maximum withdrawal from the previous year and adjusting it for inflation. It is a frequent misunderstanding that retirees must remove 4% of their portfolio worth annually. Only in the first year of retirement do you receive a 4% bonus. Beyond that point, withdrawals will be based on inflation rates. The initial withdrawal of 4% in the first year of retirement should keep up with inflation. How Bengen tested the 4% rule. Bengen analyzed retirements from their inception across a half-century from 1926 to 1976. He based this analysis on actual returns to the market from 1926 to 1992. He calculated his financial plan for the years commencing in 1993, based on an expected return of 10.3% on equities and 5.2% on bonds. The portfolio was rebalanced every year, and withdrawals were made at the end of the year. He used this information to project the portfolio's performance up to 50 years in the future. He tested the viability of a 1926 retiree's portfolio all the way through 1976, for instance. He looked at people who had retired in 1976 and wanted to know if their investments would endure until 2026. The term 4% rule was not coined by Bengen, but his findings inspired it. In his research, he discovered that most portfolios might endure for 50 years or more with an initial withdrawal rate of just 4%. Nonetheless, even the ones that didn't make it, made it for at least 35 years, which is plenty of time for the vast majority of retirees. Deconstructing the 4% rule. In order to fully grasp the 4% rule, one must first grasp several of its underlying assumptions. Despite the fact that the 4% rule is based on precise asset allocation criteria, it can produce different results due to fees, inflation, and sequence of returns risk. After testing various asset allocations, Bengen adopted the assumption that a retiree's portfolio would be invested 50% in stocks, the S&P 500, and 50% in bonds, intermediate-term treasuries. Using this asset allocation, he tested a range of first-year withdrawal rates. 3% withdrawal rate. All portfolios lasted 50 years. 4% withdrawal rate. Most portfolios lasted 50 years. Retirement started in 10 of the 50 years examined fell short of this mark, although they all lasted about 35 years or longer. 5% withdrawal rate. More than half of the portfolios were exhausted in less than 50 years, with the worst portfolios lasting no more than about 20 years. 6% withdrawal rate. Only 7 portfolios lasted 50 years, with about 10 lasting fewer than 20 years. Bengen discovered that holding too few stocks was more detrimental than holding too many when looking at alternative asset allocations. The lifespan of portfolios where the equity allocation was between 0% and 25% was substantially harmed. If portfolio longevity were the only consideration, he determined that a 50-50 split was best. Bengen suggested that retirees increase their stock allocation to near 75% if they wish to pursue wealth creation as a secondary goal. Some retirees find even a 50-50 portfolio too risky for their comfort level, so allocating 75% of their portfolio to equities can seem like a huge leap. Bengen's 4% guideline, however, necessitates a stock allocation of 50 to 75%. The impact of fees. Bengen failed to consider that investment management expenses can eat away at returns over the course of a portfolio's existence. Those that invest on their own in low-cost index funds shouldn't see any change in Bengen's performance due to the small cost they pay. Therefore, the 4% rule may not apply to people who hire an investment advisor. A yearly fee of 1% of assets under management is typical for an investment advisor. Total costs can get close to or even surpass 2% if the advisor chooses actively managed mutual funds, which typically charge 75 basis points or more annually. The 4% criterion would be jeopardized if portfolio performance were negatively affected by large investment management fees. Sequence of returns risk. The danger that poor market returns in the first few years of retirement could completely deplete a portfolio well before 30 years of retirement is called sequence of returns risk for the purposes of the 4% rule. In contrast, if one retires at the start of the bull market, the sequence of returns can significantly enhance the value of a portfolio, leaving a retiree who follows the rule with a considerable balance even after 30 years. The primary difficulty for retirees is that you can't forecast the future performance of markets, regardless of the strategy they adopt. A retiree in January 1929 would have no notion that the Great Depression would begin in just 10 months later with a historic stock market crash. Similarly, a retiree in January 2009 would have no idea that the market bottom was just 3 months away, to be followed by one of the longest bull markets ever. The good news is that Bengen's work also took the danger of negative sequences of returns into account. By analyzing actual market data beginning in 1926, his results considered retirees who entered retirement during or just before some very difficult markets, including 1929 to 1931, stocks down 61%, 1973 to 1974, stocks down 37.2%, 1937 to 1941, stocks down 33.3%. Notwithstanding these market declines, retirees starting retirement in or just before these years saw their portfolio survive for at least 30 years when following the 4% rule. Inflation impacts. The 1929 to 1931 bear market may seem particularly daunting when compared to the others listed above. As it turns out, this is not the case. Those who started saving for retirement in 1929 or shortly thereafter had their investments last for 50 years thanks to the 4% rule. Individuals who retired around the 1937 to 1941 market had a decline in portfolio longevity of roughly 40 years within the first 3 years of retirement. Those who had planned to retire in the years preceding the market crash of 1973 and 1974 were hit particularly hard. Why? Said simply, inflation. Price increases of 22.1% were seen between 1973 and 1974. Because of this, retirees' annual withdrawals had to be significantly raised just to keep up with inflation. In contrast, prices fell 15.8% between 1929 and 1931, a period of deflation. Even if retirees' portfolios take a major hit, they still have the option of lowering their annual withdrawals to keep their purchasing power stable. Dynamic withdrawal rates. During all of retirement, the 4% rule implies a constant withdrawal rate. In the first year of retirement, it is common for people to withdraw 4% of their savings. After that, they make withdrawal adjustments each year to account for inflation or deflation. Nonetheless, as Bengen emphasized in his research, retirees benefit greatly from dynamic withdrawals. In the event of a bad market or unexpectedly strong inflation, a retiree may choose to cut their annual withdrawal by, say, 5%. The lifetime of a portfolio can be greatly improved by even a small cut of 5%. What the 4% rule doesn't account for. Not to dismiss the diligent work of William Bengen and the financial community that supported his conclusion, but as with all pieces of conventional wisdom, the 4% rule doesn't account for countless variations in each person's individual situation. This is not so much the result of a failing in the rule itself or the math that backs it up, but an inherent failing of attaching any firm, flat rule to governing long-term financial planning, given that the economic landscape over the long term is anything but flat and firm. Here are a few factors that opting for a set-in and forget-it 4% flat withdrawal rate in retirement doesn't include. Medical expenses. Most of us will encounter them as we get older, especially in the golden years of retirement. But exactly what kind of medical expenses you'll incur ourselves is practically impossible to predict. Some are also exponentially more costly than others. The other big variable that impacts the viability of the 4% rule, life expectancy. Needless to say, the longer you live, the longer you'll need your savings to last. Market fluctuations. The economy is unlikely to stay perfectly consistent and even-keeled for the entirety of your retirement years. In a booming economic environment, withdrawing more than 4% annually might be perfectly fine. In more uncertain times, you might need to pull back your spending a bit. Unfortunately, there's no prescriptive, guiding rule for financial management that beats simply keeping an eye on your money and acting accordingly at any given time. Personal tax rate. A big factor is your personal tax rate, which is affected by a number of factors including the types of investment accounts you have, the size of those accounts, and your other income, deductions, credits, and what state you live in. So what is your thought regarding the 4% rule for retirement? Share with us in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share it with your friends so we can keep making videos like this. For more content like this, subscribe to our channel. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well. Thanks for watching.